Little box may jump up somewhere on your screen. You'll have to clear it off. And then to set up for this balance class, the ideal setup is basically 3 chairs. 2 of them just act as balance support. So got this little frame, sort of like parallel bars. Okay. And then the third seat. So after you've got your 2 chairs set up, find your seat at the front edge of your sitting chair, hands on the lap. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Cultivate your zhongjung, your central upright, central pillar, right down through the middle of you. Mute everybody. Spotlight me. Breathing in, breathing out, feeling that movement of the body. So very important. Again, Tai Chi understands something that is very logical, rational, makes perfect sense, but we often aren't thinking about it, that a living, healthy body is a changing body. It's a moving body. There's flow of fluids and electricity. There's expanding and then settling back in. There's openings and then closings, right? So there's action that's going on. And a lot of times what's happening, especially with aging processes, those things are shutting down and becoming less functional. So all the various movements become less than their full range. Breathing is just one of them. And so the Taoist sort of basic thinking is don't allow that. Use your mind to make those mechanisms move more and more to their full range. So just this action of sitting and taking a big breath and letting all that space open up. And then when you exhale, letting there be this softening and this melting and consolidating and settling all the way to that other end of the spectrum of the movement. And then another inhale. Filling up, opening up, holding that full state. And then that exhale all the way to the empty. And then again, inhale. So let's just do that 5 more times. In your own practice, you might spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes just breathing. And that could be your whole practice for the day or the morning or whatever. And it would be time well spent. We add some outer body movements, same idea, right? Slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest and chin up. Arch the spine. Try to get all the way to one end of the spectrum of this movement. And then let's go to the other end. Slide your hands forward, past the knees, arms straight, shoulder blades slide a little bit apart. Hollow the chest and drop your head all the way. And then let's go back again. Sliding hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back. Chest and chin up, arching all the way into spinal extension. And then hands forward, hollow the chest, drop the head, round the back. Flexion. And again, inhaling as you slide hands, elbows, shoulder blades back, arch, inhale. And exhale. One more time. And then settle to the middle. That should have helped you by going through those full ranges. Find the middle. Now, slide your left hand forward, your right hand and elbow back. Turn the shoulders and head to the right. And then switch. Right hand forward, left hand back. Turn shoulders and head to the left. And then you switch again. Don't be in a rush. Go only as fast or slow as allows you to get all the way to the end of one side, one rotation, and then all the way to the other side. Few more, just nice and easy, don't feel rush. The body can become a sort of imprisoned state. It can be kind of like you're imprisoned in the body. And our practice, our wellness practice, should be directly trying to combat that imprisoning state. Let's go ahead and settle back to the middle. So we're moving through every range of motion so that it doesn't get shut down, locked down, right? Hang your arms alongside you, just very easily lean to your right. Now lift your left wrist. Look how loose my wrist is. Elbow loose, shoulder space open, and just droop a little more to the right. And then come back to center nice and tall, left arm long, hanging, lean. Right wrist floats up right into that little space, lean, and then back up. So once again, we're trying to break out of the imprisoned state of grabbing, holding, tense, right? And the brain gets accustomed to whatever relationship to the room, to gravity, to the horizon that we have. And we want to be able to break that as well. We want to be able to lean and be sort of sideways in space, and then back to vertical in space, and then go sideways the other way in space, and still retain equilibrium. Back to center. Now again, very important, chest, arms, and shoulder blade, neck. This whole region tends to be stuck. So the next movement helps loosen that. We go forward, up, back, down to neutral. Forward and up, back and down. Under, forward and up, back, down. Under, again. So if the scapula and arms and chest, if this area is built to move with all of this freedom, and yet in your body, it can't do that for whatever number of reasons, that's going to impact not just this area, it's going to impact the whole machine. Let's go ahead and reverse. We go back, up, forward, down. Back, up, forward and down. And so this, it's not tedious to me, but it can be a tedious practice of every day, just like getting up and brushing our teeth, flossing our teeth, other daily habits that we have to do, can be a little tedious, right? But they're pretty important for the upkeep of our teeth, let's say, if we're flossing and brushing and all of that. So the body is no different. So this type of work is this going through section by section and making sure it's not stuck, glued together, and impeded. Now, settle to the middle, bend your elbows, and we go out to the side and up. And then down to the side, and then in. Touch elbows together. We'll do that a few times. And the complexity and marvelous quality of the human body, right? Just think of a dancer or a martial artist or an athlete, in the Olympics. The human body has an ability to do so many amazing things. Let's go ahead and draw the elbows back, down, forward, up, forward, down, and back, down, forward, up. So this capacity to do amazing things with the body actually is a problem that we have to deal with. We have to make sure all these possible mechanisms in the body are kept up, are maintained. Let's go elbows out to the side, left hand high, right hand low. Cross. And then open. Cross. So like in our teeth, if we only had 4 teeth to floss, that would be easier than the fact that we have so many, right? And so the more complex the mechanism, the more places that need maintenance there are. Right? And so this system that we're doing here is kind of a simplified but thorough trip through the mechanisms of the body. Now, scoot a little bit back on your chair so you're very stable. Bring your right knee up and your foot draws in. So you see that compressing, sort of spring loading, and then push. And then reload that spring and then put the foot down. Other leg. So there's the loading phase of the movement, the pushing phase, the reloading, and then down. Other leg. Load, push, load, down, and load, push, load, down, load, push. So again, you see this concept, freedom of movement. Freedom of movement to be in a closed position, a fully open position, closed back down, and release. Now your foot and ankle, straighten the leg. Point the foot, flex the foot. Point, flex. Freedom of movement here. And then tilt the foot a little in, a little out, in, out, in. And then circle, in, around, and out. Reverse, out, around, and in. And switch feet, pointing and flexing. Tilting a little in, out, tilt, tilt. Now circle, in, around, and out. And reverse, out, around, and in. And down. Scoot to the front edge of your chair one more time. Step your feet wider apart than hip distance. Lift your toes off the ground, turning on the heels. Look at this shape that I'm making here. So the feet pointing in The thighs have internally rotated. They've turned inward. And then lift the toes and turn out. And then lift your toes and turn in, right? So the hands, that doesn't matter what they're doing. I'm just using that to show something. What's important is your awareness in this area, the quad. Turning in, out. In, and out. In, and neutral. So come back to this neutral position. Now the legs don't move, but from that same qua, we do fold. And then sit vertical. And then from the same qua, lean back a little bit. And vertical. And the same hips. Notice I'm not rounding my spine. I'm folding at the hips. So I'm cultivating, I'm developing this mechanism in the body. Fold. And vertical. And tip. And vertical. Now, arms hang. So we loosened up this space in the body, right? We just cultivated this space in the body. And we've got our middle, right? The navel, the belly button, and lower back section. So according to Tai Chi and Qigong, this is a very important, this is like the cockpit of the body. If you were going to operate the body, they talk about the mind being here. It's kind of like not being all tense up here when you're moving, but being relaxed. Everything settles to this middle of you, right? So we've got space in the groin and hips. We got space in the shoulders. And we've got the middle. So everything relaxed. Slide your feet back a little bit. We fold at the hip crease. Arms are loose and relaxed. Come forward out of your chair and just stand up. All the way tall. And then from the same hip space, groin space, we fold. So notice when I'm going to sit down, the first thing I do is hip hinge, and I create this shape. I have not bent my knees. That's not the first thing that I do. It's this hip hinge. And then it's that space here in the groin and hips that allows this functional movement of sitting down. And again. Folding. So standing up, the first gesture is actually forward. That's because we need to get the weight down to the earth through the feet. Then standing up is no problem. And ideally you keep just totally relaxed looseness through the body. Hip hinge, fold, sit. And just feel over time, especially as you practice more and more, that ease is its own power system. Staying in a relaxed, easy state is its own system of power. Now, don't sit in your chair. So don't actually sit down, but fold and sink as if you're going to sit. Don't sit in your chair, but dangle your hands. See if you can touch your shins, your ankles, your toes, the floor, and then push through the earth and rise all the way tall. So that healthy body, functional body, is one that can change. It can both be tall and straight like we are here, but if I'm stuck like this and I can't do anything, then I'm stuck walking around awkwardly. So the healthy body has to also be able to hinge and also be able to fold all the way into this shape. And of course, your body might not be able to go all the way closed and open just yet, but that's the practice. That's the daily routine of getting up and flossing your teeth. It's seeing, can you get to here? 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 And then over time, you get this, this freedom, this looseness back into the body. Now, you keep everything as it is. I'm just moving this. Don't you move your chair. You just stay right like you are. Now, hopefully you have this set up. You got a chair on your right. So move and turn and face that chair. So you've got this to support you and keep you safe. Now, if you look down at your feet, notice how you have more foot in front of the ankle and less foot behind the ankle. That means we have different abilities here. So if you look at my body, now I'm leaning forward into my toes. My body has a forward angle, and then I'm back to the middle. Now look at me here again. When I go back into my heels, I don't lean back like this. From this middle, I go a little bit back. So now I'm in the heels. So now I've made sort of a C curve, and then I'm going forward, and then middle, and then back. So there's a range of motion in this direction of tipping forward, being in the middle, and then being a little bit into your heels. Now your chair is there, keeping you safe. Safety is paramount. Do not fall, right? That's number one risk to us here. We're practicing balance, but we're also challenging our balance. So use the chair to keep you safe. Now, stay in your toes here. So you've tipped into your toes, push down through your toes, and lift your heels up off the ground, all the way up. And then lower your heels to the ground. Now make sure you got your hands on your chair for safety. Rock back into your heels and pull the toes up off the ground. And then down and rock back into your toes and lift your heels way, 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 way up. And then down. And then rock back to your heels, lift your toes up. The chair's keeping you safe, and you're developing, cultivating healthy lower leg musculature and mechanisms and joint relationships. Plus you're training your middle. You're finding this cockpit in the body. Now settle back down. Now you're going to place your hands on the back of the chair, right, like this. Walk your feet back, and then fold at the quad, at the hip. So look at this shape that I'm making. I'm stretching the back of the legs. It's like down dog from yoga. And then stretching the buttocks and the low back and the shoulders. Folding. And then just take the pressure off the pose, chest up, hips come a little bit forward, and then we're going to go back in one more time. Hips back, fold. So again, a healthy body is a transformable, changeable, hingeable body. And then let's bring the chest up again and walk forward, forward, forward. Walk all the way forward to the chair so that you're back to vertical. And then turn and face forward one more time and take a step back from the chair. So now your chair should be in front of you and to the right of you, but still within reach. And release the chair. So now we're standing on our 2 feet, and we want to play with what's called separate, empty, and full. So if you look at my body, you can see right now I've got more weight here and less weight here. And then change so that you got more weight here and less weight here. This is a primary, fundamental, internal ability that gets lost over time. It gets lost. We get stuck. And then there's this clumsiness that comes from this area being stuck. So just this simple practice of change the weight, allow a little bend in this leg, a little emptiness in this leg, and then change. Right? This leg empty, this leg full, and then change. And so this middle, this cockpit in the middle, the belly, the low back, and the quad or groin area, this is where the magic happens. This is where the prison can be slowly cultivated back to being a playground, a freedom of movement playground. Of course, we have to loosen shoulders, we got to loosen feet, we got to loosen all the parts around it, right? Because anything stuck affects all the different hoses and pipelines and channels. But really, this is that important space, okay? Now, hand on the chair, lift the heel, get to the tippy toe. So I'm going to turn a little sideways so you can see this move, and then down. And then I change leg. So now this one is empty. Lift the tippy toe, and then down. Which I think it's better if I'm this way. So lift, down, shift. So full, empty, and then we go whoop, chain. And then lift, lower, chain. Now, the weight going down your left leg, lift to your tippy toe on your right foot and disconnect the foot from the floor. You got your hand on the chair for safety. So you're getting this experience of one full, one empty. And then put the whole foot down and then change. And Joe, make sure you're safe there. Make sure that back chair, it looks like your chair's off to the side. Can you make sure you're definitely not gonna fall? And you know, I haven't lost a student yet. Don't be the first. Don't be the first. I hear you that you've got some pain going on. Yeah. So take breaks. Don't force it. Take breaks. Right? So I'm just kind of putting out the sequence. Do what you should do. Don't overdo it. Right? But just safety obviously is the number one. Right? So we got tippy toe and then a little lift of the toe. Down. And then shift. So we got all the weight going down through one leg. If you can achieve that one leg full, then that freedom of movement becomes available. And then chain. Tippy toe, lift, lower. And then the last challenge, again, be careful with this one, hand on the chair. The weight goes down and we try to get this full lift, just whatever height you can get to. And then down. And then shift. And then we go other leg. Full lift. All the way down. Change. We got our vertical pillar. We got one full, one empty. Change. All the weight going down one leg. And down. Okay, so now the next exercise adds a little challenge to that. Back up a bit if you're not backed up. Again, you don't want to be right at the front end of the chair. Be a little behind it. Put all the weight into your left leg and put your right heel in front, touching softly. And then we go shift. And then we go shift. And then we go shift. Shift. So this adds a challenge because now we're moving forward and backwards in space. But the cool thing is that the primary direction is still down. So if I get the down right, and then again, I just go down, down to the earth, and then down to the earth. The down gives me the organization up. Rather than me holding my body up, I relax everything out of the body. And then that allows you to connect to the ground. And then you get this support from the ground. Now, hand on the chair. Your front leg empty, just a small lift. Lower, shift. And then your back leg empty, just a little bend to the knee. Toe touch the floor. Shift. The weight going down through your back leg gives you the freedom of the front leg movement. And then the weight going down through the front leg gives you this freedom of movement. Down gives you freedom for up. The down gives us the freedom for the up. Now make sure hand is on the chair for this last one. We go all the way up, all the way down, shift. And then back leg forward and up, toe reach behind, shift. Weight going down gives you the freedom to lift. The weight going down and staying down gives us the stability we are fervently seeking. We're looking for stability. We want to feel stable. But if we use tension for stability, we gum up the works. We have to relax and let the weight go down underneath us, under the floor. That leaves the body free to function, to move. All right, now, feet together. We step one side, step out. Go for your other chair. Again, stay safe. And level one. So change the weight into your right leg. Put your left foot a little bit in front. Level one is the easiest version where we just shift. Try to get just to the tippy toe of your back foot. Shift. Get to the tip of the heel. And again, shift. And shift. Again, shift. Shift. One more, level one. Just this casual down and down. Now your front leg empty, lift, lower, shift. You got hand on chair for safety. Back leg like a little flamingo. Lift, toe down, shift. Now the weight goes down. That gives you the freedom to lift and lower. Shift. The weight goes down. The knee can bend. Keep this body upright and then relax it. Lift, lower, shift. Flamingo, down, shift. And then make sure hand is on chair here for full lift. Heel touch down, shift. Back leg, knee comes forward and up. Reach the toe behind, shift. Weight going down gives you the freedom of knee up and down, shift. Back leg, knee comes forward and up, toe behind, and shift. All right, now feet together, side step. Closer to this side again. Now, make sure the chair is in front of you and to the right of you. Put the weight in your left leg, right foot in front. Level one, we go shift. Back foot empty. Keep it empty as you step it. And then shift. And then we go back, shifting into your back leg. Now this front foot is empty. Step it back with no body weight in it. And then shift. So once again, separating full and empty, completely separating. So it's full, empty, and then I'm shifting and I'm getting right leg full, or this leg full, this leg empty, and it's the empty quality that allows it to step, right? And then I got to change again. Now this is full and this is empty. And then we're going back. So this is full and this is empty. And so usually what's happening is people are trying to step before they've actually gotten totally separating full and empty. So they're 80-20. And so I'm not quite empty here. And so then I have to grab the leg and sort of yank it to step. And it's heavy and it's clumsy. And so that's that clunking around that you do, that people do. Right? And you don't notice it as much when you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or whatever, but as time goes forward, this lack of precision really starts to show up. So that's why Taoist practice is so perfect for aging and for healing, because it emphasizes the precision of understanding how the mechanisms are meant to truly work. Right? Now, hand on the chair, lift, lower, shift. Now as you've gotten full and empty, the empty leg, see if you can step over something that was in your way, and then shift. Now your back leg, flamingo. Bend the knee, touch the toe, shift back. Now this is a little tricky. Make sure hands on chair. We go up in front, bend the knee, reach the toe back, find the floor, then shift. This front leg empty, lift, lower, shift. This back leg empty is free to come up off the floor, step over, come back down, all while empty, and then shift. Back leg empty has ability to move. So it's like the body has to be plugged into the earth by one limb. So here we're plugging into the earth through the back leg, left leg. That gives this other leg levity or freedom of movement. And then before I think about picking up this other foot, I got to make sure I'm fully plugged in. Once I'm plugged in, then that can step. And then I got to shift and change which one is plugged. And once it's plugged, then I can lift that other foot. And then last challenge on this one, we go full lift, back down, shift. Once you're plugged in, then your back foot, just kind of exaggerate, go heel to butt, knee all the way up, foot out, lower the foot out in front, and then shift. Once that leg is plugged in, we go forward and up, and then reach the foot back, shift. Once that's plugged in, we can go all the way up with the knee, tuck the foot, reach the foot, shift. Once that back leg is plugged in, we can go up, down. Let's do that one more time, the full range. So we're clearing out gunk in the mechanisms. We're challenging our ability to stay relaxed even in a challenging, threatening situation. Relaxation is the answer. Letting go, not tightening up, releasing, which connects us to the ground. Let's switch sides, so feet together, side step. Come over to this side here. Put the weight in your right leg, left foot in front. Level one, shift. Now once that leg, that's your full leg, is plugged in, the other leg can step, and then shift. And then shift back, step back, shift back. So as you get more proficient, as you come to class more and you feel like you understand these movements, this is the best one to practice no hand, right? But don't do it if you're feeling a lot of caution, a lot of fear in the body. But just recognize this is walking, right? This is walking. But if you feel any danger, you know your chair is right there. So no falling allowed, right? You have to be your own guardian in this sense. So this is level one, where we're just cruising casually, right? Now we add challenge. So the weight's going down through your right leg, left leg can lift, and then lower, and then shift. And once I'm plugged in through that left leg, then the right leg can lift, step over, come down, shift. And then this back leg can flamingo, down, shift. Someday you might try this one with no hand, but I don't suggest it early on, or especially if you're going through a lot of pain in your body. I wouldn't do it. But all this stuff can be practiced hands-free eventually. Really, all we're practicing is what's tricky about Taoist practice is, in some ways, it's not asking you to do something. It's asking you to stop doing something that you don't even know you're doing. Right? Hopefully that makes a little sense. It sounds weird, right? But It's like we're doing things that are not helping, and we need to let go of those things and return to just natural movement. Now, hand on the chair, we go all the way up, down, shift. Now it's this sort of exaggerated bend knee, knee up, foot out, dangle the foot down, then shift. And then bring that back leg knee forward and up, and the toe behind and shift. And you stay down through your left leg as this empty right leg floats through space, and then shift. Lift, lower, shift. And then bend, flow through the range, shift. Got our vertical down to the earth. And got your little setup here. Move over to the far left of the space, and then turn and face downrange. You got a runway in front of you. Chairs are on your left for safety. Put your weight into your right leg, put your left foot in front. Level 1, shift. Once you're plugged into the earth through your left leg, right foot should be able to step empty, and then shift. And once you're plugged in through the right leg, left foot should be able to step empty, and then shift. Right leg empty, step, shift. Step, shift. Now going backwards, of course, careful please. Shift. The weight goes down through the right leg, and you want to make sure you're very sturdy and stable there. Then you step the left foot back empty. And then shift. The weight goes down to the earth. That's where it's got to be, underneath you. Then you have an empty foot that can step behind. And then shift. Once you're fully plugged in through one leg, the other foot is now empty so it can step. And then shift. And step and shift. Step, shift. Let's do that again. Just try to casually walk across the room. But what I often see is people have a destination in their mind, so then they're always slightly forward and clumsily clunking along. The Tai Chi practice is this recognition of first relax, and then just use this down to the earth, step the empty foot down to the earth, step the empty foot down to the earth, step down. So that's where the stability and safety and balance comes from, is from this state of letting go, relaxing, and getting the correct relationship between your body and the earth. And then never losing that connection. So that's like the way you earn the right to move is by getting the correct relationship with your body, the various joints, and the ground. Now, once you're at the starting spot, turn again to face forward. Let the weight go down through your left leg, right foot empty, step it out to the side and back in. All right, so this little lateral or sideways movement of out, in, out, in, out, in. Now put the foot out there, leave it there, change your weight over to your right leg, and then back to your left leg. Out to that right leg, or over to the right leg and down to the earth. And then back to that left leg, down to the earth. To the right leg, down to the earth. Now, stay in your right leg, left foot should be empty. Bring the foot in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Now bring that foot in, keep it in, change the weight down through your left leg. And then change the weight down through your right leg. So now your feet are very close together, and yet we can feel this mechanism, belly, lower back, hip space, or quad. That's where you need to be less stuck in order to be able to do this little movement here, this little change. So of course, like I said, we got to have shoulders loose, arms loose, wrists. That's what all the joint mobilization practices that we do on the Friday class. We loosen up all the parts even more. We do also standing Tai Chi, but that helps us liberate this space here. Now stay down through your left leg, right foot empty, step it out sideways, and then shift. Weight down through your right leg, left foot free, step it in. Shift. Now the weight's in the left leg. Step out. Shift. Step that left foot in. Shift. Step the right foot out. Shift. In. Shift. Out. So that vertical pillar, cappuccino cup on your head is just floating along, not spilling. Not because you're holding everything so still, but the opposite. Because you release all that tension. That's, again, the goal over time, is this ability to just let go. Now, bring that foot in and back out, and we go the other way. Just change the weight. Let it go down through to the earth. Bring the right foot in. Down through to the earth. Step the left foot out. You got to first slow it down to discern what's happening. Slow it down so you feel this transfer. You feel the full empty change. You step in and you make sure not to put any weight. And then you change. And then you step. And then you change. And again, you can, once you clear the spaces, then you can move fast in this way. But usually we have so much stuck, we have to take the time to loosen it out. That's why daily practice is a thing. That's why these videos exist, for you to engage with daily. Now, come to the space in between your chairs on either side. Feet about hip distance. Change the weight to your left leg. Turn the right empty foot out. Leg bone externally rotate, knee and toes. And then back to neutral. And then turn the leg in. And then neutral. Turn the leg out and let the hips kind of go with you so that your belly button actually turns a little bit to this corner. And then neutral. And then turn in. And now the belly button points a little bit to this corner. Now skip neutral and just turn the leg out and turn the leg in. So everything is relaxed. The weight is going down through one leg, and so if I've got that correct, then I've got agility, function, freedom of movement through the entire rest of the body. Come back to neutral, switch. Now put the weight down through the right leg, turn out. Neutral, in, neutral, out. Now let's just skip neutral. Turn in and out. In and out. Got your chairs there for safety. Now change the weight to the left leg. We go turning out. Then change the weight down through the right leg. Bring your body around to square quarter turn to the right. Put the weight down through your left leg again. Turn your right foot leg out. Hips turn out. And then the weight goes down through the right leg. You do another quarter turn. So you should be facing away from the camera at this point after 2 of those. And then put the weight down through your left leg. Turn your right foot out. shift into the right leg, and again, that's down to the earth, bring the left foot around, weight down through the left leg, turn the right foot out, change the weight into the right leg, and we're back around. So we've just done a 360-degree rotation. Let's do it again. Right foot is empty, it turns out, it stays empty, and then again, the weight goes down. You let it go down, that frees up the body to come around and square to reorient. The weight goes down through the left leg, that frees the body to turn. And then the weight goes down through the right leg to find that stability again, which frees the body to come around the rest of the way. So the down is primary. If you get it, then all kinds of function becomes available. Any tension in your body pulls you up. Relaxation gets you down. Turn. Right? Go the other way. So down through the right leg, left foot turns out. Down through the left leg, right foot comes around. Down. And the goal eventually in Tai Chi practice is a zero tolerance policy for tension. Again, doesn't happen overnight, it happens through practice. But it also happens when you start to sense, oh, I get it. Any tension makes you clumsy. Relaxation makes you more sensitive and aware and subtle and nuanced. At first, it feels a little less stable to relax and soften, but over time, it becomes incredibly sturdy to just relax down to the earth. Down to the earth. Body is like a liquid system as opposed to this meat and bone and tension. That's the goal. That's the practice. Once you got back to facing forward, now instead of turning the leg out, now turn in, shift into that right leg and bring the left foot back to match, and we do it again. The weight goes down the left leg, turn in, and then shift, and the weight goes into the left leg again. Right foot being empty, pigeon toe, turn it in, sort of closing, and then shift and reorient. Right leg empty again, pigeon toe, and then shift and reorient. Go around twice. Empty, pigeon toe, shift, reorient. Empty the right leg, turn not just the foot but the body a little bit, and then you finish that reorientation. There are different circumstances where you might actually use this movement, but even if you didn't, it would be worth doing because the body's built to do it. So the brain needs to train all of its different functions. Left foot, turn, shift, come back. Weight down through the right leg, that frees the left foot and body to be able to do this little turn. And then shift. Respond by relaxing to the challenge. Pigeon toe. Shift. Change again. Pigeon toe. Shift. Go around twice. Have the idea that you're cultivating a middle. Like I said, it's down around belly button, lower back, that region. That's your middle. That is the constant. It gives you this steady feeling on the inside, even though we're moving and changing and turning and reorienting, and all of that's happening, but inside is this middle pivot. Now, turn right leg out. We change the weight and turn left foot in. So that now in 2 foot movements, you get 180 degrees facing away or close to it. The distance isn't as important as the appropriate use of your mechanisms. And then you go right foot, turn out. The weight goes down through the body is turning. You bring that left foot, pigeon toe. And now in 2 foot movements, I'm back to facing straight ahead. Right foot turns out, the weight goes down. That's where my steady stability comes from. The freedom of movement allows me to fold and wrap, and then the weight goes down. And that gives me the freedom to turn open again. The weight goes down. That gives me the freedom to turn and close. Go around just one more time. Relax. The imaginary cappuccino cup on the head just floating along. And once you're back facing forward, go the other way. Left foot turn out. The weight goes down. Stays down through the left leg as I get my right foot all the way pigeon-toed. Then the weight goes down. It stays down through the right as I turn everything this way. Then the weight goes down. The weight stays down through the left only as I get the whole body to get this shape. And then the weight goes down, stays down through the right as I open. And the weight change, pigeon toe. Weight change, open, right? So there's an opening and a closing. This is opening. This is closing. Open. Whether opened or closed, there's a middle. And then stay facing forward. The next time you get there, don't rush. Hands together. Palms. Back of one hand. Palms. Back of the other hand. Palms. Quad. Groin. Hip flexors. Tail. Lumbar. And as if you're going to sit for a squat, sweep the hands down the outside of the legs, around to the inside, then push through the earth, stand all the way up, hands come up the inside, past the groin, all the way to the belly button. And then we do that again. Quad, or groin, or inguinal crease, hip flexors, tail, lumbar, and outer channels, yang channels, around to the inside, up the inside, yin channels to the navel. One more time. Groin, front of legs and hips, tail, low back, sweep, and sweep. And then last little reset, up the outer arm to the shoulder, turn the palm up, down the inside and off. Turn. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Switch. Up the outer, turn, down the inner and off. Turn, up, turn, down, turn. And then we close, wing, roll, fold, settle, belly, and then we seal. We go 1, 2, and then this little hand position, grab, fold. So you create that little yin-yang looking symbol. Thank you, everybody. Great job. So make sure you know where your chair is. Find your seat. If you have any questions, comments, anything at all, feel free to unmute and ask or share. Thanks for being here. Any questions?